Turkey has invested heavily in the aeronautical industry to meet its military needs and reduce foreign dependence. As a result, the Turkish Air Force is close to the remarkable fact of putting into service its indigenously designed fifth-generation fighter, named Kaan. So today we will know 5 incredible facts about the new and powerful Turkish fighter. 1. The Kaan will be a very big fighter jet. Perhaps many enthusiasts have already heard or read something about the Kaan, but few people realize how big this plane will be, literally. It should be 21 meters long, 14 meters wide and 6 meters high, which means it will be larger than AF-15 Eagle. The Kaan could compete for the title of largest fifth-generation fighter with the Chinese J-20, which is 20 centimeters longer than the Turkish fighter, but is smaller in wingspan and height. Although several of the Kaan's capabilities are still classified, in general a larger fuselage allows it to accommodate larger and more powerful avionics, more armament and more internal fuel, benefiting range, autonomy and combat endurance. We can expect from the Kaan, therefore, a very powerful fighter in all these aspects. 2. Kaan will be able to fly in supercruise. The Kaan will be able to fly at speeds above Mach 1 without needing an afterburner, and will certainly be able to maintain this type of flight for prolonged periods, thanks to the large amount of fuel that its huge fuselage will be able to accommodate. This capability guarantees several advantages, such as increasing the range of missiles when launched at higher speeds, as well as making it easier to disengage and flee in unfavorable combat situations. 3. The Kaan will have 2 infrared tracking systems. Being able to track enemies solely by their heat emissions is a fundamental capability in modern warfare. To do this, some fighters have their infrared tracking sensors in the upper part of the fuselage, while others have the infrared sensor in the lower part. The position of the sensor indicates its primary function. Sensors installed in the lower part of the fuselage have the primary function of tracking surface targets, although they can also track aerial targets. They operate in the medium wave frequency range, which has a slightly smaller range, but they form better quality images and work better in adverse weather conditions, such as the presence of rain, clouds and fog. They are ideal for detecting and recognizing targets on land and at sea. The sensors installed in the upper part of the fuselage have the primary function of tracking aerial targets, although they can also track surface targets. These sensors generally operate at a long wave frequency, which is sensitive enough to detect the heat caused by a plane's friction with the air and, therefore, has greater range. They are ideal for detecting planes flying at high altitudes, above clouds, over great distances, but are more affected by adverse weather conditions, such as the presence of clouds and rain. The Kaan will have a completely new approach, with 2 infrared tracking systems, something unprecedented among combat aircraft. One will be above the fuselage, optimized for aerial targets, while the other will be below the fuselage, optimized for ground targets. This will allow it to exploit the strengths of each and achieve great efficiency in tracking heat emissions. It is worth remembering that infrared tracking systems have the great advantage of being completely passive, that is, they do not emit any signal that could alert the enemy, unlike active sensors such as radar. 4. Kaan will have an extremely powerful radar. In parallel with the Kaan project, several Turkish companies are developing the new fighter's avionics, such as the future radar that will equip it. It will be an active electronically scanned radar that will employ gallium nitride transmitters, which is a promising new technology that allows semiconductors to transfer energy charges several times greater than the gallium arsenide semiconductors currently used in military radars. In general, a radar employing gallium nitride transmitters can achieve a detection range up to twice as long as a radar of similar size with gallium arsenide transmitters, thanks to the much higher transmission power. But not only that. We have already mentioned here that the Kaan will be an especially large fighter, which also means a large nose capable of accommodating a large radar, remembering that the size of the radar antenna is directly related to its overall performance, including range. The Kaan's radar will probably be similar in size or even larger than the radars currently used in fighters such as the F-35 and F-22, but with greater power, thanks to the new gallium nitride transmitters. This should guarantee exceptional performance, possibly surpassing the performance of American fifth-generation fighters' radars. 5. Kaan's radar will be a powerful jammer. In general, fourth-generation fighters use small antennas spread across the fuselage to emit jamming signals with the aim of blocking or confusing enemy radars. The advantage is complete or nearly complete coverage around the aircraft, but the disadvantage is low power. Fifth-generation fighters adopt a different approach, using the radar itself as a jammer. The disadvantage is the coverage limited to the frontal sector, but on the other hand the power is several times greater, which added to the small RCS of these aircraft provides much greater effectiveness. Here again the large size and great power of the radar being developed for the Kaan will be a differentiator. It will be capable of emitting extremely powerful interference beams that will pose a great challenge to the correct functioning of enemy radars. It will be like a large and powerful electronic warfare pod, but carried internally, without generating drag or increasing RCS. This capability combined with Kaan's small radar signature, making its detection even more difficult. Many of the Kaan's capabilities are still classified, but based on what is public knowledge so far, we can conclude that it will be a truly fearsome fighter. The combination of low RCS, a very powerful radar, advanced passive tracking systems, in addition to great autonomy and combat resistance should create an air superiority aircraft that is very dangerous for any potential enemy. Thank you for watching the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.